سبحان فالق
Yes.
الإصباح.
Yes, that's right, infidels. Rise and praise. It's the ultra declassified. Sure, Jam.
Put you in the camel clutch, crack your spine like the dark side line.
Of the
Ringside,
Friday
paralyzed,
locker room.
fuck a crutch, cause
Here,
you're gonna need a
Amin
wheelchair.
Media Group.
Been I mean with the overkill, smash your baby
Operation
face with a steel chair.
IOP
The square
World.
circle, you'll get killed there. Black and blue when you turn a purple, leaking red when it's spilled there. Hey, Bill Fair, catching heat with the crowd. Just another vicious heel down the cheat, and he's proud. Hear the screams.
Goddamn right, I'm proud. And I'm proud of you guys getting up this morning, getting after it on a Thursday morning, tuning into the Friday locker room. Hopefully your day's kicking off all right. And if not, we'll take all the heat and all the yeet and put it back on the system. So good time this week, man. Another great crossover opportunity for HMG. I want to say thanks to the guys at Reffing It Up podcast, RJ Krasinski, Baby Hebner, Jimmy Corderas, Daniel Spencer, for having me on their show. Really had a great time going into the Zebras locker room. A lot of people don't know, man, what a tight-knit group those guys have to be. We'll give them one. It's early.
Group.
And they were a class act all the way. Good to hang with those guys, and I can't wait to have them over here on HMG and on Russo brand, and just making more of the best content for true wrestling fans from people who've been in the biz at the highest levels. So no need to go to the dirt sheets, the Mark reporters who've never taken a bump and never paid a due. But he's paid a lot of dues, and he's come up big in the ranks, man, whether it's acting, whether it's production, or right here as producer of the year. It's MSG back in the studio. Good morning, pal.
Good morning, sir. Good day to you. We are on the precipice of winter here, as it's getting really, really cold here in the Northeast.
Yeah.
Had to buy some more clothes yesterday. I was like, it looks like it's time to buy some winter clothes again.
I bought a goddamn shovel yesterday.
Oh, you did?
So yeah. Last winter was a mother, and that one had probably about 5 years on it. And after that ice set in, tried to shovel it with the plastic shovel and just cracked the end of it because it was so cold and brittle that day. So got myself a new one with the bent neck, so the old man doesn't have to bend over. He can just fucking push her along. So yeah, man. But yeah, I gotta gets me a new winter coat too, I think. Usually I just try and suffer through with hoodies and some lighter fleeces, but think this year I'll be out on the trail with my father and brother riding some snowmobiles, and that ain't gonna fucking cut it, because at 90 miles an hour that wind will rip right through you like a goddamn ninja sword.
Well, yes, it's. I definitely noticed it when we were going out to the car the last couple of days. I was like, oh, great, here we go. It's on its way. Well, this is the Friday locker room. Ben, before we get into the headlines, did you have anything you wanted to get off your chest? Something that it's been, bothering you this week at all? Ben's
a lot of goddamn phlegm, that's for sure, in my chest. That's what that was. But I'm kicking out of being sick. Are you just setting me up to shine, or was there something you were alluding to? Because I don't want to botch the spot.
No, I wasn't alluding to anything.
Oh, no, I just, been following all my usual conspiracies and everybody back and forth, like losing their mind. And the Northern Lights, which we're enjoying this morning. I don't have any pictures, but I do got the Jaunty all-in-one vape, 90% THC from Jaunty, a great company, available at Ravens Joint. And yeah, man, just more world psyop. I guess that's what my opening little side rant was. I was watching Jimmy Dore show this morning, and others in the Blaze put out, and who knows what's even true. Blaze could be part of the entire psyop to manage both sides, and it's leaked that way. But that a former Washington, D.C. police officer dressed in COVID mask and hoodie was matched with this program AI gate that looks at people's walks and is 95% accurate, and that it was a female police officer that planted the pipe bombs at January 6th, and shocker, our own intelligence agencies working against us like they have been since they smoked JFK when he said he wanted to splinter the CIA into 1,000 pieces. And I also saw that the guy who allegedly Navy SEAL killed Osama bin Laden is suing 2 veterans in Florida podcasters who said that he didn't do it. And, I'm not down to get sued by the Navy SEALs, but I have a lot of questions too. And let's just leave it at that right now if lawsuits are getting thrown around. So there's just things that when it comes down to it, fucking.
What kind of person to say a told us so? But you know what? I told us so. I told us so.
You've been with us for a long time, most of our listeners, and they've heard me while these things, along with the conspiracy horsemen and yourself and others, I'll throw us all under the bus, Matt, so you can take some heat. Say like, how many times are we going to fall for this? We've seen it for 25 years. We've lived it. We see the patterns. And then the 85% sheep who don't want to admit it, even though they know what's going on, because that would just crash their entire programming. But we've been deprogrammed for a while. And now here we are 5, 6, almost 6 years later, removed from that. People went to prison. I mean, you can go back. I had Pat Miletich on, the conspiracy horseman, within a month after, like, who was there? And nobody's arresting Pat Miletich if you don't want them to, So, and he was pointing out things then, and anything that, even the deal with the Charlie Kirk issue of like what is truth and the psyop, and it just is never ending. Every week there's going to be a major MK Ultra trauma based experience for the people. And then I don't want to dunk on people that are my friends that I cared about, but I know a lot of actors and they're very fragile, left leaning, will do whatever the system tells them to because they really just want to be famous and they know who runs Hollywood.
We got Jews in the house.
And they'll do whatever it means to carry that fucking, this is what I'm programmed to do, and I'll get over because my friends got over. I've been talking chemtrails since 2016, 2017, and now in the timeline over and over. Yeah, it's definitely spraying our skies with aluminum particulates, and for what reason? We don't even get that. It's nothing we voted on. This is Raytheon. This is Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, just doing this shit based off of some new world order that they all belong to, and just decided, we're going to do whatever we want to do, bro. And tell people, just put the psyop out there that they're crazy. These clouds been going on forever, and more cancer, more sickness, more autism, more ADHD, more. And it don't stop. So in 1 week, January 6th exposed as a complete FBI, CIA. Oh, and that girl who was the cop, she left the police department in 2021 when right after January 6th, and got a job at the CIA as security. It's just crazy how things work out that way. And when it comes to the Bin Laden alleged hero, no body cam footage of it going down. No footage of allegedly being thrown off the side of an aircraft carrier into the water for one of those classic at sea Muslim burials they all do, which they tried to put that over. No follow-up on SEAL Team 6, where half of them got eliminated in a turkey shoot. And they were also breaking protocol because SEAL Team travels on Black Hawk helicopters, but for some reason, they were placed on Chinooks, transport helicopters, much slower, much less defenses on them. Just the perfect storm, but sure, you did what we were told you did. So don't sue anybody. And just it keeps on, and then you're supposed to be like, not ask questions about Charlie Kirk while his wife's out here putting fucking eye drops in before she makes her Goldberg entrance to look like she's crying. Like, they're not very good at, they're about as good at maintaining a work as WWE is, and that ain't very good. So in the conspiracy horseman realm, and get fired up about this, but really at the end of the day, What's going to happen? Nothing. They're not going to go after these people. They're not going to fucking do the old West justice that deserves to be for being a traitor, or being a part of a deep state that doesn't even answer to any of the three branches of government. Apparently, you just say you're over and you do whatever you want and you keep people at bay by creating chaos because order out of chaos. Almost order chlorum. So I don't know, man. Like, they're like, look in the sky at the northern lights. I've never seen them like this. You know why? Because Planet X is is in our solar system, coming back around. That's why you're seeing anomalies and light shows and comets and meteors that you've never seen before, because Wormwood the Destroyer is coming through.
Jill Kidney says you're 15 years behind on your conspiracy theories, Ben.
I'm 15 years behind. Well, thank you, Jill. I appreciate it. But if you want to go back and try and find Conspiracy Horseman episodes, I know I'm not shit. I'm sure Joe Kinney has got an unbelievable career, but you can go and check out some shows I did with John McAfee or former AI Google, creators and things along those lines, 9/11 experts, and I only lived the gimmick for 20 years online, but Jill, I appreciate your well-known opinion, and everybody should respect it because, I'm just an asshole wrestler who doesn't know shit. So hope you're having a good morning out there. You're really impressing everybody.
Yeah, a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world, Ben, and it just doesn't seem to stop. Every time I turn on the news or I turn on television, there's something new for people to get upset about or to cause division between the mass population. So,
yeah, and that's what it is. It's problem, reaction, solution. Don't say Sandy Hook. Don't talk about the laughing dad. Don't talk about the Saudis in Las Vegas. Don't talk about the chief of police who went from Vegas to Maui. Don't talk about directed weather weapons. Don't talk about Blackstone that wants to take over coastlines in Jamaica. Don't talk about any of that because it's all in your fucking imagination. You are just paranoid and none of it's real until 6 years from now when we show you the proof and it's all absolutely real and you were right the entire time. But again, you can't go dunk on your friends who, you don't know what you're saying. You've never done anything. Okay. I'm trying to tell you that I live a life of pattern recognition. Yes. And as a worker, I know what workers do to make people believe that I'm the 19th Prince of the House of Saud, not responsible for hijacker funding. But, the fact that this week Clinton files are dropping showing Obama, Hillary, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and everything funded ISIS. And it was all forgive me, I might be too far behind. I don't want to seem like an asshole.
All right, well, let's get into some wrestling news here. The first story I've got here for you, Ben, is Trish Stratus says Vince McMahon hounded her like crazy about posing for Playboy magazine. While appearing on the while appearing on the Pod Meets World podcast, WWE Hall of Famer Trish Stratus commented on her decision to not pose for Playboy magazine during her wrestling career. I'm not going to read all of it, but she said a couple things. It's just not for me. I'm like a tomboy, even though I'm known as a sexual symbol, I suppose. I've heard that. It's not me. It's my character. But I mean, I pull it off if I need to. But yeah, no, it was not even an option. I was like, oh, that's not just me. She continued on and went on to say, I just don't know. The sexy thing didn't come natural. So when Playboy came calling, I was absolutely not interested. Vince McMahon, oh my God, hounded me like crazy. He's like, it's a great opportunity. And I was shown also during that time, but look at this opportunity. If you turn this down, we're going to give you our opportunity to her. And I was like, no, I still don't want to do it. Thank you. It came to me for years and years, and I was just like, no. And I don't regret it never. It's not my thing. And now, my God, now that I have kids and everything, I couldn't even imagine, to be honest. So I know that was my decision, and I stand by it. Vince McMahon hounding the women to do Playboy. Vince, what are we doing?
That is a goddamn shocker. Those allegations will not stand. It was Penthouse, not Playboy. Yeah, dude. Shocker. The guy who is admitted computer brain number 2 sex addict. Wanted the hot blonde that, is the Toronto Pamela Anderson stereotype to get naked and show her box so he could make money off it. And really, it's probably more of a mental test of saying, can I get her to get naked? And if I can do that, what else can I do? Obviously a great athlete, as Trish was fitness competitor beforehand, and super hot even now after X amount of kids and 25 years, still as beautiful as ever, if not more so. But yeah, this is the time Vince had her naked in pre-tapes, and even if she had like nude colored belt on, she's jumping on them, and we're doing all the stuff with Linda, to make her look like a concubine. And that's got to be a crazy situation, even if you've been in the business for a little while, that you're working side by side with Vince. And if you're not a guy where he's trying to corrupt you by inside jokes and sending you pics and stuff. I mean, at this time there wasn't as many phone and video things to be able to send to people, but that's why you could stay under the radar and get away with it, because there wasn't an evidence trail digital of all the bullshit you've been doing. And she's gonna probably smile and laugh and no, I just don't think it's for me. Let me think about it. While you're trying to keep your job, he's like, you gotta do Playboy, you gotta get China, like just him being a sexual creep and predator, which is exactly what he is and what drives him. And I've seen things this week of people bagging on Triple H, and I've done enough of that. That's fine. But Triple H has known about this. He's covered up where all this shit for 20 years. And who knows what part of it that he's participated in. And people are going, Triple H era sucks. We need Vince back. At least Vince cared about the fans. Dude, Vince didn't do shit the last 20 years. His creative sucked. He was worrying more about fucking chicks on the side, doing simulated rapes, crapping on their head, and having them sign 19 NDAs, farting in the writers' meeting to pop himself more than he was ever caring about writing any decent show. Like that, it just shows that even Vince at that level, people are saying was more entertaining, and it wasn't. There was nothing of quality from probably 2008 till present day. That there's no memorable anything, dude. And everything they rode, they started down, ends up with a crash and burn, no big payoff, great feeling. Or they do it for DEI reasons ahead of time, and then they throw the guy under the bus. It's Kofi Mania, and now he wears a sombrero to the ring. Like everything was lip service. Nothing was original and great creative. So everybody out there who's trying to heat on Triple H saying Vince was a genius, no, you're revisionist history. You're very delusional right now. They've been selling this crap product like used car salesmen since about 2008, from ignorant programming director to ignorant programming director, from CW to Fox to Netflix to ESPN to USA. It just doesn't stop. That part they've got wired. The bullshit sale sign on the dotted line for more money, absolutely. Delivering a product since 2008 has been on a steady decline. There's not one time where the graph goes up and stays up and then dips. There isn't. And that is since the royal family of wrestling, Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, and Vince took the reins fully.
Why do you think that wrestling is the only, I guess, form of entertainment that gets away with that? Because if it's any other form of television, reality show, news show, whatever it is, anything on television, if the ratings have been consistently dipping, they don't have a show anymore. And we've seen it time after time with major networks killing off shows that had bigger numbers than WWE, SmackDown, or Raw combined right now.
That's a great question. How and why is it? Are these program directors just marks because they came up in the 90s and they want to stand next to fucking Game and do a crotch chop while he points at them? That's part of it. Like, is it the fact that Vince rubs elbows with people who might have been on Jeffrey Epstein flights, and they're all in that weird fucking club together. That could be part of it. You know, like is there a U.S. backing to use WWE as a complete front for black ops in Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, in USO shows? Yes. Like there's a lot of little things there where the wrestling doesn't make a goddamn bit of difference. It's the who you know, who you blow, who you got dirt on, and can we get this deal done? And the executive who signs them, that's like a badge of honor because nobody's done and run told that, hey, we bought a shit product, because nobody wants to admit to that signed on the dotted line. All they want to do is go, I signed a deal for 1.5 billion. That means I'm a big deal maker. And okay, so you paid $1.5 billion for a big wagon of horse shit. Congratulations. You were said it was you were told it was a big wagon full of gold, and it turned out to be a big thing of manure. But you're not going to go, I bought shit. You're going to go, I paid I got the deal done. I'm a deal maker. And then you fail upwards from ESPN and you go to Amazon Prime and you start doing more fake deals with the mafia and NFL. Like,
so where do you see the buck stopping with this? Does this end with Saudi Arabia buying it and they'll just pay to put the show on anywhere they want? Or, I mean,
yeah, that's an interesting thing, right? So they're going to want to buy it for their 2030 Riyadh project, and it's going to be sold as a bad bill of goods to them. Now, are you going to cross the Saudis? But if Triple H and the McMahons are in the office with the White House, they're already in on the big black ops psyop of what's going on. So it might just be window dressing. But the Saudis are going to find out that are they going to tour the show back to America? If the Saudis take over, they're going to keep it on tour. They're just going to be owners and Triple H is going to open the show every week. I don't think so. And they're going to find out when they bought the bad bill of goods for the most ridiculous price, even though they can afford it. Now what? When nobody's going to want to go to the show in New York when it's owned by Turkey Al Sheikh. Like, that is a twisted 1984 doublethink pill to swallow, bro. Like, and that's why Nick Khan is selling, going, people are coming from America to go to Mania. No, they're not. Not unless you would have to pay for their ticket, flight, and hotel. Go to WrestleMania in Saudi for $1. That'd be about the only way, because none of it's been fucking rectified. And even now, things are coming out of the deep staters telling on each other and taking the files that they've been sitting on as dead man switches for years and exposing it. And now you're supposed to go watch wrestling because these super rich Arab oil guys fucking own it, and they don't give a shit. They don't even know that Andre the Giant and Yokozuna are dead. They want Undertaker and Kane as their tag champions. Like, it's insulting to people who put 40, 50 years into this shit. Well, these guys are over here trying to let's play Western culture and show that we can join the fray too. But really, underneath the surface, we're still, living a crusade savage lifestyle while we enslave people for our own fucking benefit. None of that's been answered or addressed. They try and put WWE window dressing on it, and the show is so bad and they don't care that now the fans are chanting, fuck you, Saudi. They're booing Triple H when he even said Saturday Night Main Event in Boston, because he knows they sold them out for Washington, D.C. when that match absolutely should have been in Boston, where this week's Raw was. The people know, even the people who are dumb enough to keep paying insane amount of prices for tickets at the show are turning on them. So I saw SmackDown house way down for ticket sales.
Yeah.
Cena's final match still not selling out. The Greed, Mark Shapiro and Ari Emanuel, shocker, don't get it. And all they're using this for is some alternative purpose, not to serve the wrestling fans, not to serve the business or take wrestling and rekindle it to make it great again. They don't give a shit about that, dude. And that means they don't care about any of the fan base. They're just trying to pimp it out until they can sell it to the Saudis, who will then royally fuck it up. You think people in fucking Kansas City and fucking, Alabama and shit are going to be like, yeah, the Saudis are coming to town with WWE. Fuck. How delusional. And Triple H, Khan, Steph, all of them know that. But they're putting a smiley face on. It's the best show ever. So they can once again get them to sign on the line, which is dotted, always be closing, ABC, coffees for closers. And once they do with Saudi, it'll be like, oh, sweet. Cash the check for $20 billion. We're out. And now it's your problem, pal. And it might even be more than that, because I think with UFC controversy, Dana's gambling markers all over town and bought fighters, you're in for a huge PR RICO scandal, and you're going to want to dump that property. So I wouldn't doubt if they sell UFC and WWE in a package for $100 billion.
Yeah, I just don't understand how a company continues to get bigger and better money deals when the product itself has fewer and fewer eyeballs on it. It doesn't make sense from an entertainment standpoint.
How do you lose 66% of your audience, make a profit that you're claimed to that's more, and sell it for a higher price? In 1 year's time, they've lost 66% of their audience.
Yeah.
And give me more. Dude, there's got to be other mitigating factors.
What are we not doing? And where's our TV show?
Yeah. We're actually running successful businesses. That's the problem. If only I would fail, then I would get more money is the answer, but that's really not the way it works. So how are they pulling it off? That WWE is part of some black ops psyop and the money doesn't matter. Like, the money doesn't equate the quality of the product. The money equates whatever it is that somebody's trying to push through in the dark corners. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's going on.
Or like you said, there's somebody that is just, these guys are really big fans of wrestling and they just want to be,
into it.
They want to be in that club, right?
Yeah. Dude, Jacob Ullman was saying at Fox, we need creative solutions. We hear you. And we need solutions. Write us a contract for and then they hired Bischoff because he marked out. So Jacob Ullman, who wants his show to be better and be allegedly and be higher ratings on Fox, then during the prime and debut of The Fiend, Bray Wyatt is taking pictures, breaking kayfabe in the production suite with Bray Wyatt. This is supposed to be our Freddy Krueger. Here's the programming director of Fox, who's a fucking wrestling mark. Allegedly, he wants the show to be quality and this. And then in the same fucking breath, he's marking out, taking a picture, breaking the reality that we're trying to create on his show. So why would I take anything he has to say seriously? This is where I'm like, these executives, and I'm not just throwing him under the bus, but this is the level of people you're dealing with, where we got to get ratings up, or otherwise I'm going to look foolish in the eyes of the board that we got this deal done when I sold them on it, that we're going to, it's a 3.6, but we're going to have it up to a 4.5 within 2 months. But really you went down to a 2.1. Now you're down to 933,000. Like, of course you look like the fool that you are, but got to get that selfie for the gram, B. I gotta get it for my own fucking inner child. I've loved wrestling since I was 5. These are the people you're dealing with.
All right. Well, the next story I've got here involves Chris Jericho and TNA. So Chris Jericho says TNA looked like the second biggest company in the world at Bound for Glory. During this week's edition of Talk is Jericho, Jericho spoke with Team 3 the Hardys and stated the following at one point. That crowd looked huge. It looked huge. It was like a WWE level crowd. The place was packed. I was watching this, not saying anything out of school here, but comparing it to watching the AEW Dynamite when they were there at the ECW arena, which looked like a Tony Condello, promoter of International Wrestling Alliance in Manitoba Canada taping. Sorry, it did. TNA looked like the second biggest company in the world. And that was amazing. The presentation was amazing. I mean it. It looked like WrestleMania. It really did. Is that something of note here that Chris Jericho, who we don't know, if he's still employed by AEW, or is this more of a sign? Hey, Jericho's getting ready to go back to WWE.
Oh, of course it is. Like, if that shows that he's already wrapped up there. And I saw that Edge is stepping away too, right? Like, so.
Well, yeah, I know Edge is shooting something for television or a movie or something like that. But yeah, that doesn't mean anything. He could still.
Yeah, no, dude, you want to go there and do it. What has Edge done in AEW?
Not much, man.
Yeah, dude. Cope. He's Cope. Yeah, sure. Like, it's trash, and he knows it. He went there for the check to make sure his family's taken care of, and absolutely. And I'm sure in his heart he had good intentions of giving people the rub, shines, and all that shit. But Tony can't write his way out of a wet paper bag, and Edge was probably like, "Well, what if we do this, and he's like, I've got ideas already." Oh, okay, dude, you let Edge book his own shit. You go. You got 12 minutes. Do what you want. Here's the business I kind of want. You punch it up. Do whatever you guys need to do. You're way smarter at this than I am. I'm gonna lay out and watch. Instead, they probably micromanaged him, had him do dumb shit where he's just okay, cash the insane check and shut the fuck up until you get to the point of like, why did I just waste the last 2 years of my life for this money? And I've hurt my own career when I can go back and do something with Cena or what have you. And Jericho posting ab pics, saying things like this. Of course he's on his way back to do something, but I don't like that. I want a moment where it's the Jericho countdown clock out of nowhere. And now we know it's coming because of little breadcrumb trail things like this. You know what I mean? Of getting in super shape. Like, why are you back on the gas at age whatever? Because we know you're coming back instead of laying out. And both those guys are supreme workers that I hold in the highest esteem. Jericho, especially, is one of my favorites since back ECW era. And Edge and I had one of the best locker room conversations about conspiracy I've ever had, to be honest with you, at 2CW the last time I performed where we were performing, so I guess it was 10 years ago. So I hold both those guys in high esteem as workers and as, how they conduct their business. And I was Beth Phoenix's young boy at OVW, not so young boy, I guess, 28. So I don't look down at them and like for them making their money, but I like a protected secret. And when everybody goes, the surprise is going to be Jericho, well, then it's not a surprise.
Yeah.
I hate hey, everybody, watch this. And then like, it's always going to be at the end of you're never going to live up to it.
It feels like Russo says, like they're booking for the pop. Right, they're booking.
You would have what would be a bigger pop, knowing that Jericho's coming and it got stooged off that he's in the fucking town that day, and we've seen these things leading up to, and he's putting over Impact, which Impact did look great. I'm not saying it didn't, but him as the company man for AEW saying that, he has every right, being the veteran that he is, to talk openly about any Fed and how they look, but to say they look like the number 2 company is a direct shot at fucking Khan, right?
Right.
And then he buries Tony Condello, and that was funny too. So
well, I don't disagree. Like, I was there the night Jericho came back and wrestled 45 minutes at the Royal Rumble unannounced, and people went ape shit there in Phoenix at that show. And I was there. Cena came back and won it, but yeah, he was there 45 minutes and people went ape shit. So if
you did something even simple, like you think it's going to be Cena's. Well, his last match coming up quick, but this is how I would have done it maybe 2 months ago or a month ago. Guys, you think they're going to be the guy that gets to face him in this stupid tournament or whatever, right? And something happens before the match even starts where somebody gets jumped because they've got side business and gets taken out. I don't care about Samoans, whoever. Somebody disgruntled. And now the match we thought was scheduled is off because that person's too hurt. Jericho countdown clock out of nowhere. People would fucking come out of their seats. Twitter would go nuts. Fucking people at home will be taping themselves. Oh my God. But instead, we already know they're coming back. And now it'll mean 30% of what it could have meant. So now when we start down that road, we're already at a D- grade. And you can only go down from there. The ceiling is D- because the storyline of Cena's heel turn was A and B. And now we've taken that out and we're back to t-shirt sales at a C level. The ceiling of what we can do on this is at C. But then, the rib comes out of ESPN rated it an F-. I go, well, an F- is really just a G+. It's all about how you spin it, So I'm kind of a little disappointed in guys that I have a lot of respect for and we're huge fans of that, influenced how I do my thing on the mic, are stooging off the surprises by saying they're stepping back or by showing these pics. Those are all little like, here's a little, put a pin in this, like, so the internet can start talking. And I understand why they're doing it because they want to create buzz, but the surprise would be way better if nobody knew it was coming. But that's done now based on what they've already done. That the actual moment they could have had is gone.
Well, speaking of gone, women who have been exiting wrestling promotions, have you been keeping up, or did you talk at all this week about the Tegan Knox and Miranda Lee stuff from AEW Collision?
Yeah, I know there was some follow-up after words, and I say this guy's name of like who should be a leader over there because again, huge respect for his family and his mindset, and I think the greatest character possibly in wrestling history is Dustin Rhodes. To show how to walk the line, how to steal and bring something to life that's outside of the box and make it fucking part of Americana. The guy is unbelievable and still underrated in his performances, let alone being Dusty's son, Cody's brother, what have you, having to wear those tags. I think he's a better performer than both of them. And sometimes he can go off online, but he said, when you get the chance to perform, you go out there and perform. And that's it. Like, people kill for these opportunities to get a dark match on AEW. These girls, Gen Z, iPad fucking raised, helicopter parented, whatever, that, now I got to dye my hair Kool-Aid colors to be a woke Gen Z or whatever, or just to stand out in wrestling. That's fine. Again, fast track through the NXT false positive machine, kissed on the head and given a fucking hat by Shawn Michaels, and you're up on the roster and you have no idea how to truly work a crowd. You've been hurt because you've done a ton of spots that were stupid and your body's small and not made for that. And then you're part of the cool kids club and you, after your future endeavored, and you get invited to AEW, but you think you got to pull 20 minutes and get all your shit in when you don't. You need to get heat and you need to get a baby face over. 90 second promo, 90-second get over with the fucking hot girls of AEW running in, getting their shit in, which would then show everybody that you don't have an ego, that you're willing to come in and get beat quick, but you also just laid the foundation for you to come back and now have a feud with those girls, the hot girls versus the fucking Hot Topics girls. Right? Yeah. But no, like 3 minutes, I'm insulted. That's not going to work for me. We just rather not. Is that cool? Oh yeah, that's cool with us. We agree. 3 minutes. No, you could show the world that you can get over in 3 minutes and you don't need 20, because everybody else on that show is a goof too, who wants to get 20 minutes in, when I could walk to the back and go, I just did business in 3 minutes. I took one bump and got shit canned, and had a reaction and got over on camera. And you could half bury WWE without ever saying it, and that's going to make Khan feel fucking great that he got over on him. Now you're working the promoter. In 3 minutes, you could have got all that. And Dustin says, after the girls are like on their Twitch, no, there was no heat, and everybody, like, that goes to show you don't even understand what silent heat is. And with a look, that's how fast you're buried with a look, you know. And go ahead.
I was just going to say, just to catch the listener up, essentially, if you missed the story, Tegan Knox and Miranda Elise were booked at an AEW Collision show. Before the actual match took place, there was a conversation where they were told that they only had 3 minutes. I guess they purportedly, or they stated that they, along with Ty Mello and Anna Jay, their opponents, all agreed that 3 minutes was not enough. So they were polite, respectful, and they said that the 3 minutes isn't going to benefit either of us. Not just, but everyone on the tag team, and we want what's best for everyone. So respectfully, we prefer this to go to someone that it can benefit. I mean, the 3 minutes, and it went to other 2 females. Good on them. That was never bad blood. We spoke to everyone involved. It wasn't a fuck you, we're leaving it all, except we called our producer over. We said everything, and we spoke to a lot of people about this, and they were all in agreement, like, hey, 3 minutes is just not good for anyone.
And then they went out and drank beers and taped it. To show even more how foolish stuff. Like, we don't, it's no disrespect, but fuck it, we're out of here to go pound some pints real quick. And the reality is maybe 3 minutes isn't good for a match. And I would say, you know what? I don't feel like I can, but I know I want to help get these girls over. What do you think about this in 3 minutes? Here's my promo. Here's their spot. We're effed off. And I leave it so it looks like we have to follow up business. So that makes me smart to get a second booking. And you get to bury WWE backhanded that just cocked you over. These are kids who don't understand the opportunity, and that's what Dustin is saying. And here's what really pisses me off, because I love him to death, the bookie monster. My best man, too, Mike Mondo, who's got to go back and forth with AEW to get shine in NWA. These guys are fucking supreme workers with unbelievable skills and fucking bodies and age. They're way out of their 20s. GGP almost as old as me. And he fucking looks like $1 million, and he's on the road every weekend in main events. And these girls get a chance because they came through the Shawn Michaels meat grinder, and they fucking spit in the face of an opportunity. But the guys I'm mentioning are better than 99% of your top guys in your locker room. GGP is better than fucking Dean Ambrose. Mike Mondo's 1,000 times better. Like, the guys that you got out there in your main event could barely lace those 2 guys' boots and make it as simple as they can and get a great match out of them to the point where they're going, fuck, that was easy. Yeah, because those are 2 top pros, and those guys can't get a shot. You give either of those guys 3 minutes, they're going to fucking blow everybody out of the water in that time. And you got guys like the Outrunners and Dalton Castle, who are cut from the same cloth, trained by Mondo, trained by Rip, trained by Nick Dinsmore, trained by Joey Mercury, who made all your top guys. You ask Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, and fucking Tribal Chief, who helped them get this business. It's Joey Mercury and Truth Magnum. Shiloh Mount was with Joey day one, but we only keep those guys on ROH, or they get over doing character, but yeah, bro, we do high spot here. Nope. Every high spot retard you got on your roster should be watching those guys and going, okay, that's how it's supposed to be done. That's how I have 25, 30 years in this business without taking stupid bumps off a ladder, through tables, through a goddamn plate glass. That's how I don't take mirrors to the face as a woman. Like, they have it right there, and they refuse to fucking go down that road. And I can only imagine when you got a guy like Dustin, Mark Henry, Edge, and they have to see this fucking New Japan bullshit, this mark out shit for Meltzer's shit all the time. Like, what do you expect from them? Of course, they're going to go Impact's the number 2 company, because they actually have people who know what they're doing, like Tommy Dreamer, like fucking Santino Marella, and plenty of others, where over here it's romper room, bro. Like, it's kindergartners in charge of 12th graders. It's crazy.
All right, well, moving to our next story here, I found this one to be interesting.
But it does get me hot, bro, with GGP and Mike, because I care so much about them and I respect them so much. And then these fucking Florida water morons get a shot and they can't even get that done. and then these guys are back on the indies taking bookings, bro. Like it's straight up spit in the fucking face of true workers who know the shit. I would go to those girls and give them the easy test of like, where was WrestleMania 3 held? Well, name 5 people Hogan beat for the world title. Like, I bet they wouldn't even be able to do 1, maybe 2. They would know the simplest wrestling questions. They wouldn't even know. You could name guys from the 80s. They might not know who Coco B. Rare or Hillbilly Jim is. They may have never even seen one fucking segment from them, but they're getting AEW time offered. No, you're done here. Just go start your OnlyFans and break out the Sibian. Nobody gives a fuck about you anymore.
Now, of course, I wasn't here last week, but let me ask: did you and Steve King talk about the Mike Mondo NWA stuff at all, or did you talk about this last
briefly?
week?
Yeah, I mean, Mike is smart, right? Like, and I don't know why Khan has some type of beef with NWA when, if he was all about open door policy or forbidden door, that's exactly what you would want. Instead, he brings back he starts his own national title the week Mike wins the one in NWA that's been around for 100 goddamn years. And okay, if you were going to do that, let's have a storyline where then Mike comes in and jumps the railing and beats the shit out of that NWA or of your phony national champion, has his belt, and the sheets were talking all week. Mike Mondo, he's pissed off. Like, what's he doing here? All that shit. And Mike looks like $1 million and looks, and wrestles how Hobbs and Wardlow should learn how to, Brian Cage should learn how to wrestle as fucking jacked guys, but instead they want to do dives and get their shit in. You'll never see Mondo do that dumb shit. Well, I say that, then he jumped off the fucking thing at Ring of Honor and broke his ankle back in the day. So, but I think he learned his lesson. Like the fact that it's right there for you, I was like, all right, maybe they're writing the storyline to bring that over and Mike can come grab that belt, and then AEW guy can chase him back to NWA, and we're doing more open doors. Nope, just petty and dumb. But what does Mike do? Stands by, his career and his work ethic and his doctorate level of knowledge in this shit, and says, I am the national champion. This belt's got legacy, and if anybody's got something to say about it, I'm not hard to fucking find. So puts the ball right back in their court. What do? Nothing. Mike sets them up respectfully instead of going, that belt doesn't mean shit. And like being a mark for a title. Said Mike hands them gold because he knows how to do business. And they go, oh, gold. That's baby booking. That's why I'm saying you have kindergartners in charge of 12th graders. Mike is a 12th grader. Khan is not.
All right. Well, yeah. Mike Mondo last week said, let me be clear, there's only one NWA and there's only one prestigious national championship that holds legit lineage and has for decades. So to Tony Khan or anyone else confused, here's the legit title, what the company it belongs to, and the legit national champion. My name is Mike Mondo.
And who's boom? Gut check time. And who's managing him?
Mike Mondo?
Yeah.
I'm not watching NWA, so I'm just gonna guess Aaron Stevenson.
Yeah, Damian Sandow. Two unbelievable OVW, WWE talents who got over in their 20s. Mike was in his teens, possibly just coming up to do the Spirit Squad. And out of the Spirit Squad, you also get Nick Nemeth, Dolph Ziggler, unbelievable mind and worker, Mondo, Ken Doane, who is a phenomenal athlete and worker and an agent backstage right now at WWE. Mitch, I don't know. I'm still in the quest for Mitch. That's the only one I don't know. And Johnny Jeter, who in OVW, when the squad was there, everybody was saying Jeter's the best one. Jeter's got the best mind, and he's got a beautiful wife and family, and he's kind of transitioned out of the biz, but one of the nicest guys I ever met in the locker room, Jeter. I mean, all those guys were A+ to me, but like those guys were 20. And their mind is better than most veterans ever be. Like, It's crazy. I can't even explain it. Like to be fortunate to work with all those guys and watch them put shit together. I learned some master class lessons in any time I got to be around them or work with them. And for them to be that good is because Dr. Tom Pritchard, Jim Cornette, Rip Rogers, Al Snow, Danny Davis, Paul Heyman. That's who schooled those guys at 19 and 20 years old. And you're not going to use that foundation, that wealth of knowledge is unbelievable to me, bro. Because why? Because ego? Because we got guys like, dude, if you want a guy like Kyle Fletcher to truly get to the next level, even a Kenny Omega to fucking truly understand it and whatnot, it's about putting all that aside and getting them in the ring with that. And then Damian Sandow, Aaron Stevens, what more do you want from a guy who can do character at every level? You know what I mean? And get himself over. And he's a racehorse stud when you come to just to look at him compared to these indie workers. The guy's fucking 6'5". So you put those two together and you're not going to want them on your show. That's unreal to me, bro. And both those guys there would go there humbly, do great business, make your guy look great and make him look gay, make him look great. And then you could have them chase back to NWA. And you've got Billy Corgan. I want to see the Billy Corgan, Tony Khan face off.
Right.
But nope. My belt's the legit one. Oh, okay.
AEW national title coming soon. Well, I'm not sure. Ask Brandon, but I'm sure that belt count's getting up there each and every Wednesday night when he does the watch-alongs. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, especially with Mercedes Moné, we have to have broken the belt count. We got to be close to probably a 25er. I mean, Liz is here. She's got all the analytics. I haven't been doing the watch-alongs in a couple of years, but yeah. So I got to believe with her having all those belts that the belt count has been shattered.
Yeah, I would agree. Next story here, sticking with AEW. I thought this was an interesting story. So Hangman Adam Page hypes up AEW as being affordable for families during an interview to promote Blood and Guts. During an interview with WX12 News to promote the 2025 Blood and Guts edition of AEW Dynamite, Hangman Page said the following about the AEW experience. He said, going to a wrestling show for the first time is like going to the cookout for the first time. You think you know what you're going to get, right? You go up there to order the tray and you think, I'll get a double cheeseburger. You think you're going to get fries for a side, but you're going to get an entire corn dog for a side. You're going to get chicken wrap for a side, and you think you might just get a Coke or something, but you get a cheer wine float as a drink. It's the entire experience, everything that you could want, things that you didn't know you wanted. You're going to get that, and it's going to be affordable. I think tickets start at $29, so it's something affordable for you, the family, everybody involved. Blood and Guts, I say it will be violent. I have a lot of family there. I think this might be the first wrestling show that my wife is going to bring my son to see. It's just very odd to promote a family-friendly show when the title of the show is called Blood and Guts.
And the women have a ton of color.
Yeah.
Did you see like some of the highlight shit I just caught on Twitter this morning?
No, I didn't see Dynamite. No.
Dude, girls are covered in blood. Like Tony Storm takes a mirror to the face.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, dude, it's Terry Funk level hardcore. I don't know how much it was gimmick blood because I just caught 20-second clips. But you're talking corn dogs and shit like that. And my wife's bringing my son. It's his first show. You're bringing your son to a first show where women are fucking drenched in their own blood. This is how clueless the cool elite guys who get to run this shit are. Our tickets are cheaper. Yeah, well, if you want families, you better serve a family product, not a Yokohama death match from FMW, you dumb fucks. Like, you couldn't be more tone deaf at the opportunity you have and then delivering the complete wrong product to endear yourself to the disenfranchised working class families. You invite them only to have them show up possibly and go, what did you bring our child to? And your kid's at home going, Mommy, I can't sleep because the bloody girl's under my bed. Like, idiots, complete lunatics. And when you surround yourself with Will Washington and fucking any other goof who calling Meltzer on the phone for advice, as opposed to going Jericho, Edge, Dustin, Mark Henry, Big Show, you guys are in charge. I'm just an owner. That's what someone with half a fucking brain cell would do. But instead, I've been writing this show since 8th grade. I've been writing this for 30 years. Really? Have you? Because everything I see is the most wrong decision at the most opportune time. Whether it's that stupid soliloquy about you thought you were getting French fries, but you actually got an extra corn. What the fuck are you talking about? Butterfly pants? Fake ass cowboy? Like, just don't get. Hey, I burned your house down and fucking came into your house, into your child's bedroom and was going to abduct them. Let's have a wrestling match. Okay. Buckshot lariat, everybody. He did it. He did a flip with a clothesline. They don't understand this shit at the smallest level, bro. But I'm supposed to put him over. Why? Because the Bucks did in Japan and the being the elite fucking thing. You can put over that he's got a big cock on him. Great. Good for you. Then the bell rings. He dressed like Tony Schiavone. He got him. Wow. What just phenomenal stuff, everybody.
Phenomenal stuff. Well, that's all the stories I've got here. But sticking with pro wrestling, it looks like Vince Russo's debut show here should be coming up here with JCW this upcoming today, Thursday. I think the show drops on Thursday.
Yeah.
Last week's episode drew 30,000 views so far. I know Vince was pushing it on Twitter all week, so shout out to you guys, the brand, Hami Media Group, and everybody else sharing and watching. Any update on JCW? Has Russo stooged off anything to you, Ben?
Yeah, I mean, I'll stooge it off and I'm fine because allegedly, and I don't need to fucking take credit, but it's nice when Vince asked me, for help with creative. So nice. He just wanted some gimmick match ideas. So I was happy to provide some, and we'll see if they make it to the light of day, man, and anything that pops into my head, I'll always send them. And I really liked, the promo he did.
I don't care if it's an indie. I want to see a triple cage. Make that shit happen.
I told him, no, not 3 cages.
4 cages.
You got to go bigger, right? So, yeah, man. I mean, there's plenty of opportunity to do group mind and come up with something cool, man. And good idea is a good idea. And usually when you present it and we're doing art by committee and people start adding their own 2 cents, it usually blossoms into something beautiful that everybody has ownership of. So regardless if it's the clowns or extreme characters or Vince cutting a promo on young talent backstage that instantly put that girl in the moment and she snapped out of her 30-second, I've worked hard for this, nobody knows my path, and like, shut up. Look, we're not going to play that here. Like, when somebody's like, you can only have a real reaction. And Vince said they did that in 1 take. I go, yeah, you have to, because if you do a 2nd take, now you're trying to recapture a moment where when you get the true moment on camera and you don't smarten her up as to what you're doing, now you've seen a true human reaction and you can't fake that. No pro wrestlers are that good of actors, maybe to actually recreate a false moment of like, whoa, what's Vince Russo yelling at me in the middle of the promo for? I'm out of my secure space and now I'm actually reacting. And you're going to get it that he's either working with you or you're going to be like, is this the take? And screw it up, So I love that he practiced what he preaches, and shows don't tell, as we sit here and break down all these stupid promos every week backstage that are supposed to look real. And they're the farthest thing from that. And, he's going, this is how it's done. And I can do it with talent that nobody even knows who they are. Right. And put in any 24-year-old girl with a bad dye job and a nose piercing. I'm going to fucking get a performance out of them. And this is how you do it. But meanwhile, we go back to WWE and they don't know over and over and over again. Jade Cargill's walking backstage with a coat on and just drops her coat in the middle of the, like, You're stupid. I'll be like, hey, idiot, you dropped your coat, and make her look dumb while she's trying to make her look cool. That would take her out of her comfort zone. Instead, I got to play along. Jade's so cool that she can just drop her coat wherever. She's a star. Like, no, that's not how it works. If you came into your house and fucking dropped your coat in the middle of the floor, your wife's going to chew your ass. Your mom or dad's going to be, what do you pick your coat up? Like, give me a real reaction. That
Right.
People just going backstage, oh, she dropped her coat. She's a star. I'm that bitch. No, you don't even understand what you're supposed to be. Who wants to go? She's that bitch, everybody. She's my favorite. Like they don't have any clue, bro, of how to get anybody over. They're so inside the bubble that they have no vision of what they look like to people outside of this shit. They're laughable. They look like fools.
Well, of course, we got coming up next week, Ben, 2CW Squared Circle. 2CW Squared Circle Wrestling, that is. Older, bolder, fatter.
Yeah.
Is coming up next week. It looks like here, just looking at the ticket map, all the first row tickets are sold. Most of all the second row tickets are sold. So if you guys still want to get tickets, you can for third row or general admission. Looks like there's but you know, it's getting close, guys. So if you want to get your tickets, now is the time. You got about a week left. You know, so let's sell this thing out and let's make this a memorable night for everyone.
Yeah, GAs are going fast too because they went on sale in Watertown at Kinney Drugs and stuff.
Okay.
Where everybody kind of has to go for their drugs, aside from Ravens Joint. And so GAs, and there's only, I think, 550 seats in the place, so it will probably be standing room only. So if you're coming to check it out, I mean, there isn't a bad seat in the house. That's one good thing about playing the smaller X venue, but they will go fast. So if you want third rows, I think that's the last row that's like preferred seating. I'd eat them up now because they will be gone, especially and one ticket gets you into both nights for the Hardy Party night one, which is going to be Jeff's band along with podcast and other fun surprises. You know, maybe I'll do a little stand up or something. We'll see. And night two is the wrestling show with everybody from The Godfather, Moose, Santana taking on Mike Skyros is going to be fucking banger. My man, Cloudy and Nick Ando taking on the Rascals, Rich Swan. I forget Mr. Freeze. I think he's taking on. Yeah, I think that's most of the major superstars, and there'll be other surprises, I'm sure. So it's going to be a great time, man. I feel good. Actually, my back feels better than it has kind of in the last 3 years. So I'm excited to, you know, kind of come out and perform, and people are already asking me about other shows, and I'm just kind of like, bro, I'm retired. Like, you know, 2CW's its own monster, obviously being business partners with Josh, and 2CW made my career, you know, so absolutely excited to be back in the locker room with all the good brothers, and hopefully Dick Justice doesn't show up because otherwise shit could really hit the fan. So, but y'all, man, come check us out. It's going to be a good time. Check out Ravens Joint. There's rooms at the Comfort Inn under Ravens Joint in Clay. If you want to book one for both nights or overnights, who knows? You might be partying with the Godfather till early in the morning, right next door. So, but y'all, man,
Let's go, Bobo. Let's party with the Godfather.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna be there. Bobo's gonna be there. I think Billy Ray Valentine's gonna be there. Colin Wysong.
Whole Wednesday locker room's gonna be there.
Oh, Colin Wysong's gonna be there. Of course, Strangler Chief King. He'll be there. So yeah, maybe come hang out. Come say what's up. You know,
man.
Peeps.
Yeah, I'm super excited for that.
I'm excited to finally get to see Ravens Joint in person. So that'll be cool too.
Yeah, man, it'd be really great to have all you guys there. Like, I don't know, makes you feel like a proud dad. And at the same time, we've created something digitally, remotely, and used the internet to create a community of whatever, disgruntled wrestling fans, you know, good brothers and sisters, and just people who want to connect and talk, you know, about things we're passionate about, or, you know, to blow off steam. And again, it's no shot at SEAL Team 6. And I totally believe you killed Osama bin Laden. And everything you say is true. So don't sue me or kill me. And you can come to the show, which is you can take your own helicopter, SEAL Team 6, right to Fort Drum, 10th Mountain Division, and come on out, and we'll have a good time. I'll trigger somebody's PTSD, and they can send me a death threat like usually happens in Watertown. So, but yeah, man, love to see you guys come and hang. Come meet the HMG posse in person. We'll get some great pics, smoke some dank, and hang out in Watertown, man, and have a good time together. So, just like I did this morning, man, here with Maddie, MSG, Friday Locker Room, man. What do you got going on? I know South Park getting real hot, taking heat. A new love scene between JD Vance and Donald Trump in the rumors I saw.
Yeah, so brand new episode dropped last night. Got to get on that. I'm about an episode back because I'm still working on the special for the Halloween special that came out on Halloween. So I'm about 2 weeks behind, but I'm working on that this week, and then I'll be working on the brand new episode. You can go to youtube.com/@SouthParkPod, sign up there. Brand new podcast will be dropped either today, Thursday, or Friday. I just got to edit that up as well. Just getting back into the studio, back into my place, so kind of getting back on track with everything. So, but yeah, everything should be up there within the next 24 to 48 hours as far as podcast concerned, and hit that like notification bell on YouTube, and you'll be notified when more content drops.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Yeah, y'all, it was a great time again on reffing it up with those guys. Make sure you go check that out. I'd listen to it on Spotify, give it all the thumbs up, share it. Appreciate it. It was a great talk with all the zebras, and a great talk here with the HMG faithful on the ultra declassified kayfabe live version of the Friday Locker Room on Thursday. So on behalf of my good friend Jill Kinney and all the outdated conspiracy theories that are floating around there, it's Hacker Hameen, infidels. It's Riyadh season. Happy Veterans Day, everybody. Y'all.
If you're not Caucasian, then leave. Mark Henry. I'm sorry.